What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and we're back with some J-Rock. Indeed, a long time ago, maybe like 7, 8 months ago now, as part of my J-drama soundtrack slash score reaction playlist, I reacted to the instrumental version of Tokio, spelled Tokio, Tokio's track Fragile, which was eventually used in the show of the same name, though I think the track actually preceded the show. Nevertheless, Tokio, it's a rock group going back to the mid 90s, and indeed, despite the fact that their music has been used in a lot of J-drama shows over the years, they're less pop and more overtly rock than some other Japanese groups I'm familiar with, and their vocalist and frontman, although he wasn't the initial frontman, he was the first singer, left the group pretty early on, and Nagase Tomoya came in, and he was the frontman forever after. I don't think they've been making music in the last few years. So I think like the last release I saw from them was around the time of this show, which I think is 2015. This is 2016, at least this DVD set, so maybe the show was 2015. Either way, yeah, they may not be making music currently, but again, they were a long-running Japanese rock band, at least like 20 years. And I'm a big fan of Nagase Tomoya. It began with one of the very first J-dramas I ever saw, My Boss, My Hero. It's a very silly show. It's essentially like Billy Madison, but it's, his dad is a Yakuza boss, and he has to prove to his dad that he's good enough to take over the organization by actually graduating high school, whereas the first time his dad had like bribed people to pass him and so on. It's a ridiculous show, but it's also very funny. Probably my favorite with him is Kurokochi or Kurokochi. Yeah, like basically he's a really interesting actor who often is very funny, but he does act in some more serious roles as well. And the craziest thing about him is his speaking voice, and maybe in some cases he's like putting on a voice for his acting, but it's a very deep and like low speaking voice, but he sings in a much higher, like very melodic register, so it's weird the disparity between his speaking voice and singing voice. So again, when I try to react to the normal version of Fragile, it got blocked, so I don't know if this is actually going to get through. But on the Fragile EP, there's also another tune written in katakana, but it translates to jump. So there's also an instrumental version of this track. So if this doesn't get through at some point, and I guess I'll be talking to myself, but I'll try to do the instrumental version and maybe that'll get through. So let's see what happens. This is Tokio, the track is Jump, and it's included on an EP called Fragile, the main song of which was eventually used in the TV show of the same name, I think 2016. the EP specifically for the title track, and then I think once the title track was blocked when I tried to react to it, and admittedly I did get to react to the instrumental one, but once the title track got blocked, I was sort of bummed out, and I think I just, put it away and, hadn't thought about it in a while. So hopefully this gets through. If it does, I'd like to do more Tokio. Because again, of all the Japanese groups I'm familiar with, they're probably my favorite, or at least like in like shows, groups that have music and shows and so on. I do listen to other Japanese groups like Kamuri and some other like punk and ska groups, which, I've been listening to them for even longer than Tokio, but admittedly, I've never seen their music in a show, so. In any case, really cool tune. I did enjoy it. Like I said, it had some like subtle flavors. It sounded like there was organ at the end. There was a moment when it stripped down where it sounded like there was some electronic synth work at play, maybe even a 303. So really cool. And again, I love his vocals. Like they're so different from his deeper speaking voice. And then he went off the rails at the end. I did enjoy that too. So let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.